The following program contains violence, disturbing imagery, nudity, and, oh my god, why are you even watching this? Just run away. This shit is going to give you nightmares.
Hey, kids.
This is a tasty burger. Burger.
Walking down the street. Yeah.
2 men, 25. Straight down. Goddamn hand tap.
You're a smart motherfucker.
That sounds like you actually have something to say.
Fuck me, that is straight down.
Dirty.
Oh, fuck me. Do you ask?
I'm the fucking master.
Fuck me, that is straight down.
Dirty.
Oh, fuck me. Do you ask?
Fucking good milkshake.
Want that. Want that.
Bunch of foxes.
Want that. Want that. Goddamn hand tap. Want that.
Bunch of foxes.
Goddamn hand tap. Want that.
Let's go.
Fucking good milkshake.
Fuck me, that is straight down. Oh, fuck me. Do you want my son?
That's a little bit.
Fuck me, that is straight down. Oh, fuck me. Do you
Great vengeance and furious anger.
say what again?
Bedside table on the kangaroo.
Say what again? Say what again?
Bedside table on the kangaroo.
Say what again? Say what again?
There's one of those walking down the street. Goddamn. There's one of those walking down the street. Goddamn.
Fucking good milkshake.
Recorded live at the Jared Show Studios in Tampa, Florida. It's another episode of the Jared Show. And now, here's your host, Jared Suarez.
That's right. Wednesday, November 8th. Back again for another episode of the Jared Show tonight. I'm ready to talk about something. Glad you're here listening. Thanks for tuning in. Some crazy shit's been going on. People dying out there, goddammit. We got baseball players crashing planes. I don't know. I don't want to really talk about tragedies here on the Jared Show. I can't even say the fucking name of the show right. Are you kidding me? Oh, tragedies on the Jared Show. Not really a big fan of them. Don't like talking about things where people die and shit like that. I've had enough death and sadness in my life that I don't need to talk about it on a fucking podcast. So, some people got shot in Texas. It's terrible, and my heart goes out to those people who lost their family members and their friends, because that's absolutely horrific to have to lose a friend or a family member like that in such a public way. But besides offering my condolences, I really don't want to talk about that. What I do want to talk about is big news today. Big old news today. Harry Potter is coming out. There's a Harry Potter game coming out for mobile devices, similar to the Pokemon Go app, where you walk around and trespass on people's property trying to catch, Pokemon. I guess you're going to do the same thing with spells. So now, later next year, you're going to see a bunch of weird people waving their fucking phones around in the air and making shapes, drawing shapes in the air. I had a real big problem with Pokemon Go. I'm a pretty big fan of Pokemon. I've been a fan of Pokemon since I was a little kid. I was a kid in the 90s, so it hit at the perfect time for me. The Pokemon cards, the Pokemon games. I had blue version, and I played it on the old school big gray Game Boy, gay-ass Game Boy. I enjoyed the game, and I played a bunch of the further releases. The more recent releases, I stopped after Pokemon Platinum version for the Nintendo DS. Just because I didn't have a 3DS and I didn't want to spend the $300 that it cost to get a 3DS. But the problem with Pokemon Go, man, is that they were just not ready for that game. The servers were bogged down immediately. It was really hard to log on to the game. And if you did log on to the game, it would crash. And it was infuriating for a while. They eventually fixed it. And I still know a couple of people that play the game. But I don't know how this new game with Harry Potter theme is going to do. I don't think that it's going to be as big as Pokemon was. Specifically because Pokemon was a game already. And I know that people downloaded emulators and software onto their phone to play Pokemon on their phone. Harry Potter, not so much. The video games of Harry Potter were always terrible. I never enjoyed any of them. The Lego Harry Potter stuff was kind of cool, but that's not really Harry Potter. That's more Lego. All the Lego video games were fun. I enjoyed all of those. I don't think that Harry Potter is going to be as successful as Pokemon Go. The game is called Harry Potter Wizards Unite. Wizards Unite. You can go onto Google and search that out and register for your copy of the game as soon as it comes out. I'm sure that Niantic will really enjoy a bunch of pre-registrations, because that's just like, as good as downloads. But, it's like pre-sales for a book. Of course, all kinds of authors want to get pre-sales to jump their numbers up so they can enter the market as a New York Times bestseller. Same thing with Niantic. Nintendo did the same thing with the Super Mario Run, and I believe they're doing the same thing now with Animal Crossing. I loved that game. Animal Crossing was great. It was fun, and a little town that runs on its own even when you're not playing. That was a fun game. I have one of the DS games. I think it's called New Leaf or something. I don't really remember what it was, but I let my town go to shit. There's nothing but weeds all over the town. Because if you don't go to the town and play the game often enough, weeds will sprout up in your town and make it less desirable for people to move in. And it's not really even people, it's anthropomorphic animals, birds and bears and mice and shit. It's a fun game, though. I really enjoyed it. I might wind up starting a new game tonight, because this is bringing back special memories when I was working for Tom Nook. Back in the day when I was working for Tom Nook. I could do a Animal Crossing rap. I think that would be actually pretty fucking funny. Not funny in the news today. Model Allie Michaels, I guess she posted something on Instagram yesterday. She posted a picture of Finn Wolfhard, Mike from Stranger Things, and Richie from the new It movie. She said something like, call me in 4 years. What fucking kind of creepy ass bitch is that? She's 27 years old. Finn is fucking 14 years old, man. That's creepy as shit. And I know that there's got to be somebody listening to this right now like, if I was 14, I would have been like, woohoo, 27-year-old model hitting me up on Instagram, posting my pictures. But no, that's fucking wrong. That's a kid. That's a 14-year-old kid, man. Just, okay, imagine it the opposite way. 27-year-old model James Worthington, making that name up. If there's a James Worthington that's an actual model, I'm not talking about you, bro. 27-year-old model James Worthington posts a picture of Millie Bobby Brown, the girl who plays 11. She's 13 years old, and he just says, hit me up in 5 years. That's fucking creepy as shit. That's fucking gross, man. That's disgusting. That's a kid, man. What is fucking wrong with you? Same thing applies for Allie Michaels. And then she comes out today trying to apologize, saying, it was obviously a joke, but I apologize for, trying to make a joke about a sensitive subject like that. I guess Kevin Spacey really fucked things up for, fucking little kids jokes. You can't make a joke about fucking a little kid anymore. Thanks, Kevin Spacey. Fucking asshole. I really don't want to get into the Kevin Spacey shit. Everybody knew he was gay, but very few people, I guess, knew that he was a fucking sexual predator. Those kind of people really, 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 really disgust me. That if you're gonna go after a little kid like that, that's so disgusting. Like you're such a failure in life that you can't attract people of your own age, or at least of legal consensual age, that you're going to go after kids. What is fucking wrong with you, man? Like every time I see a story about that, and it seems like it's more frequently now that you see these kind of stories where there's a predatory male, fucking little kids and shit, or even women. Women are doing this shit too, man. And I feel like it's been going on for a long time, but for whatever reason, be it shame or shame, that's pretty much probably the number one thing. It's never been really talked about in the way that it's being talked about now, and I think it's a good thing. Hopefully, it scares some of these fucking crazy sociopathic fuckers away from harming kids, because I don't know. Philip DeFranco of YouTube fame always says that he thinks that the people, the predators, the pedophiles, these disgusting human beings should be killed and tortured for their crimes. I wouldn't take it that far, but I do believe that if you try to fuck a kid, there's something seriously fucking wrong with you. And even if you post jokes like this girl did, if you're posting jokes about fucking kids, this kid is 13 years fucking younger than her, right? What the fuck, man? You gotta be a little bit smarter about this shit, even if it was a joke. It's not a funny joke, first off. But that's comedy. It's subjective. I'm sure somebody out there thinks that that's funny. But you're talking about a kid, man. And then I saw that because of all this came up, there was some guy who was I guess he's a fan of Stranger Things and Finn, and apparently he waited outside of his New York City hotel room to try and get a picture or an autograph with him. And Finn, I guess he just walked right on past and didn't even acknowledge him. And this pissed the guy off. And he posted some fucking rant about, we are the fans and we're the ones who made you famous and all this shit. And I just, seriously, you're going to wait outside of a fucking kid's hotel? That's a kid. Again, I don't know how much I have to fucking stress this. That's a kid. You're waiting outside of his fucking hotel room. You're a weird fucking creep. You're a weirdo. Fuck. Yeah, he's an artist and he's an actor and he does this great work and he's a fantastic actor and he's such a good actor that he makes connections with his fans. His fans can connect with the character that he's portraying so much and so fact that this guy will go and wait outside of a kid's hotel room. Imagine if that's any other 14-year-old kid for a second. Just let's say there's a 14-year-old kid at the Starbucks and he's standing there with his mom talking about his hotel and how nice the hotel is. And then you go to that hotel and wait for that kid to show up, either leaving or coming into the hotel to try to get a picture with him. You're a fucking weirdo. And then you're going to bitch about it. I get it. If it's an adult, they have some sort of responsibility to connect with their fans. I guess you don't really have to. There's no real law. But, if you want people to like you and you want people to stay fans of yours, you should probably, at least address them. Tell them, hey, thanks for showing up. It's really cool that you came out here. I'm not going to take any pictures tonight, but I really appreciate your guys' support and coming out here. You guys are awesome. Maybe shake a couple of hands. But as a kid, you don't want that. You don't want that kind of behavior. You don't want to encourage that kind of behavior by going up to this guy, this creepy ass fuck, who is standing outside of your hotel trying to take pictures of you and get an autograph from you. Leave the kid alone, man. He's 14 years old. He's still growing up. Come the fuck on. I don't know. I can't. I don't get it. I enjoy Finn Wolfhard and his work. He's a funny guy when he's not acting. I've seen a bunch of interviews with him, and he's a really funny kid, and he's a great actor. That first season of Stranger Things was so great, man, and he really nailed that performance. This season, not so much. He wasn't really that big of a part of it, I feel like. It's kind of more of just the whiny crybaby. I miss 11. And Dustin was the star of this season. I talked a little bit about Stranger Things 2 last week. You can go back and look at the episode. I'll probably link it in the description. It was strange. The strange thing about Stranger Things 2, where I delve into the whole show and review it all. I liked it, and you can go back and listen to that show if you want to and see what I had to say about it and what I thought about it. But another show that I'm watching right now, let's talk about this for a second. American Horror Story, okay? I talked about this a little bit last week. Very spoilery talk, and I don't really think that I want to keep doing spoilery talk like that. Spoiler talk. I think I'm just gonna try to review shows without spoiling the show. Last week I dropped a huge bomb, And if you weren't caught up, you would have the show would have been totally ruined for you. At least that episode would have. This episode is the episode before the finale, and this season of American Horror Story is really, it's hard for me to follow seriously because it seems like a lot of jokes. I mean, I feel like 4chan would have a hell of a time with this. They would, not a hell of a time, a hell of a good time fucking with this show because it's just absolutely ridiculous. The political shit that it tries to, it jumps on the Hollywood bandwagon of bashing Trump and bashing Trump supporters. All Trump supporters are apparently murderous, cult-minded, easily led automatons, to quote a line from Clerks, my favorite movie in the entire world. I feel like they're really making fun hard of the Trump supporters, and it's kind of getting a little ridiculous. The main guy, Evan Peters, has now portrayed not only Jim Jones, but now he portrayed Charles Manson last night on the show, and it's weird because it's like him talking to himself as Charles Manson. It's just, it's really a weird choice. I mean, I'm sure it was fun for Evan Peters to play that, but it's not something fun to watch. It wasn't. I mean, it really removes you from the immersion of the television show. You're not in it anymore. You're watching Evan Peters play Charles Manson, and it's funny. I think it's more of like a joke. Same thing with the beginning of this season. One of the characters had a lot of phobias that she couldn't deal with, like clowns and blood and holes and like little holes in coral or kind of things. You know how they have those little holes? This lady was afraid of that. Like, seriously, is that a real fucking fear? That's weird. I don't know. It's just then, like, she had a problem with clowns, so like she would see these clowns that would come terrorize her, and she would just lose her fucking shit. And it was hard not to laugh. I mean, because clowns are funny. They're silly clowns. I mean, if you watch the new It, you'll see that clown. And I think that was one of the problems that I had with the movie. I really, really, really enjoyed It. But the clown aspect, he was really just trying to be overly creepy. And, like, it didn't work at times. Like, that whole thing at the end when the girl is in the sewer and, like, there's a big trailer that says Pennywise the dancing clown, and the thing drops and he starts dancing and he starts like doing the Charleston, kicking his legs out, and it's weird. But it's funny. I know it's trying to be spooky and scary or whatever, but it's just dumb and stupid and funny. Like I found it funny. But I don't think that's how it was. I don't think that's how the movie was trying to go. I don't think it was trying to go in that direction. Like, if you look at the classic It, the beep beep Richie, I have looked at a couple more scenes recently. Just looking back on the old movie, the old movie It, the mini series, and Tim Curry is funny in that, and he's trying to be funny and goofy, and it works because it's kind of creepy. He's doing, do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do? Well, you better let him out. Poor guy's gonna suffocate. Ha ha, ooh ha, ooh ha. That's the best part of the old It, is that Tim Curry laugh. It's so funny. I don't know. I've never been afraid of clowns, and I've never really understood people that are afraid of clowns. I understand it from a psychological level, And from what I understand, it is because you cannot, at a young age, you can't identify who that person is. And it's scary, I guess. I mean, and that starts at a young age. But when you get older, you know that's just a dude in makeup. Or, I mean, another fear that kids have is like mascots. Along the same lines. Mascots. My cousin had his son, and he was terrified of like the Lightning, the Tampa Bay Lightning, whatever his name. He's like a big stupid blue thing. He's dumb. The Thunderbug. That's what it is. And I'm thinking of the Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays is the blue guy. I don't remember. Maybe his name's Raymond. Raymond is the mascot for the Tampa Bay Rays, and he's got a big blue furry nose. That kid was fucking terrified. If he saw that guy coming up, he would scream and cry and hide his face and try to get away. And he was like that for a long time. And I understand that you don't know who's inside of that thing, and it could be spooky, but I never got that, man. I never understood that. Like, it's just a dude in a costume. Maybe I got scared when I was a little kid and my mom and dad told me it's just a guy in a costume. Chill out. There's a guy in there. He probably feels really awkward for making you cry, so stop crying. But I don't know. I don't remember that conversation, and my parents aren't around for me to have that kind of conversation with him and see if I was afraid of clowns or mascots or like Disney characters. He was afraid of Disney, like Mickey Mouse and like anything with a big foam head on it. He was terrified. I don't really understand how you can continually be afraid of that. I mean, I figure you would get over it, but I mean, there are adults with fears of clowns. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, that's a dude in makeup. What is wrong with you? Grow up, people. I don't know. I think that a phobia is an irrational fear, right? So it's supposed to be fucking ridiculous. Hope nobody has a fear of the Jared Show. That'd be funny, right? I'm terrified of this episode of the Jared Show because it's ending. It's been a good show. I really think that I came to the conclusion last night that I'm gonna keep it just me. If I want somebody to be on the show, then they will have to have something that they're doing that we can talk about. Some sort of art or some sort of creative project that they're doing that they can kind of plug or promo. But if you just want to come on the podcast just to talk, I mean, this ain't the show for that. I don't think so. I mean, I can talk to anybody. Who gives a shit? Can I make the audience want to purchase your product? Can I make the audience invested in checking out your art? Can I? I think so. And that's why I'm going to only have guests on that are promoting something. If you're a YouTube star, then I probably don't want to talk to you. But if you've got a YouTube channel that you're like working on and you've got like maybe 34 followers or something like that, yeah, hit me up, man. Let's talk about what you're doing. And you're creating content. Let's do it. Let's talk about that kind of stuff. Let's talk about it. It's like the good mythical morning beginning. Well, anyways, this is another episode of The Jared Show. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Everywhere you listen to us, on YouTube, on Spreaker, on, where else? JaredShow.com. Come on, baby. JaredShow.com. There's a player right there on the website. You don't have to open up any kind of weird app or download something like that. Just freaking go to JaredShow.com. Listen to all the episodes right there. I think we're up to like 45 episodes. It's getting heavy. And the number's just going to jump from here because I'm doing it every day. I'm enjoying it. Check out the Facebook. Facebook.com/Jared Show. Follow me on Twitter. Send me 280 characters. Fill it up at Jared Show. And other than that, that's it, man. Just glad you showed up for another episode and stuck around for the entire podcast. Even though I was talking about clowns and Harry Potter. we did get into freaking Creepos a little bit. That was all right. Thanks a lot for listening. I'm getting the fuck out of here, guys. Have a good night.